Would you believe if I told you these golden crispy chips are made of cottage cheese, which we usually think of soft and fluffy, can turn into these crunchy, guilt-free, high-protein chips. Oh my god, guys. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Healthy Eats with Priya, where I come with easy, delicious, high-protein, low-carb recipes. So there are times, when we're eating healthy and what really spoils our diet is snacks, right? So you're eating a high-protein lunch, dinner and everything, and then you see a bag of chips and the entire diet goes for a toss. So what if I told you that snacks can be fun, delicious, but also guilt-free and healthy? So in this video, I'm going to be making high-protein, low-carb crisp made of cottage cheese. If you guys have been seeing my previous videos, you've seen I've made cottage cheese donuts, I've made cottage cheese bread, and in this video, I'm super delighted to bring to you cottage cheese crisp. And like I said, it's going to be a very easy recipe with literally 3 ingredients. So let's jump right into the recipe. Okay, so let's start making our cottage cheese crisp. For the ingredients, we're going to use the 4% cottage cheese. Well, that's our star ingredient, and I highly recommend you use the 4% cottage cheese because that's what is going to give chips a nice crispy texture. And now since we want our chips to be a little bit more solid and have structure, I highly recommend using 1 or 2 teaspoons of ground flaxseed. Ground flaxseed is so low carb because it has literally 5 grams of carb per serving, out of which 3 grams is fiber. So it's literally like 2 grams of net carb. But what it is going to do for the crisp is that it's going to give it structure. And finally, we're going to be using the Parmesan cheese. I highly recommend using fresh Parmesan cheese and grate it yourself and don't do store-bought. So yes, let's start making our crisp. The first step is that you want to drain the moisture out of cottage cheese because if it is watery, it's going to run when you bake it and then it's not going to be crispy. Seriously, and we want it to be crispy. So I'm using this muslin cloth and I'm going to literally put my cottage cheese right here on this cloth, and I'm going to be literally doing old school and drain out all the moisture. As you can see, oh my god, do you see so much water coming out of this cottage cheese? So much water. Wow. Do you guys see how our cottage cheese looks without any water in it? Now that our cottage cheese is completely dried out, I'm just going to blend this cottage cheese. So I'm going to put this right in the blender, and we want to blend our cottage cheese to creamy texture because if it has chunks, it is not going to make nice crisp. So let's go ahead and blend this. So let's blend our cottage cheese. Look how creamy and how dry our cottage cheese is. So I'm just going to put it in the bowl for now. So now that our cottage cheese is full of any moisture and we've also blended it, I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of this ground flaxseed just to give it a little bit more structure. Once again, everyone, this step is optional because if you have drained your cottage cheese and you've blended it, trust me, you can make it as is without ground flaxseed. But I'm like, hey, let's give it more structure plus any which ways this is going to increase our fiber content. So I'm just going to mix it. Look at the beautiful color from this flaxseed, and look at the consistency, everyone. Look how dry our cottage cheese and ground flaxseed mixture is looking. Okay, and the third ingredient is the Parmesan cheese. So I'm going to grate it really finely. And like I said, everybody, you don't want to use the pre-grated Parmesan because look at the fine grating that I'm doing here. You see? It's super fine. Fun fact, I used to always think making chips or all of these things are so difficult. But when you start making it, you realize you can use very less ingredients and under 20 minutes, our crisp will be ready. Wow. And I'm loving the look of these freshly grated Parmesan. And you guys are not here, but it's smelling so good. Since our mixture is dry, I'm making our crisp with my hands. Wow. Look at it, guys. You can use spoon, you can use cookie, whatever you use, or you can plainly use your hands. But the goal is that you make it circular so that they actually look like crisp. And you don't want it very thick, you want it kind of thinly laid out, right? Everyone, I do want to highlight one thing. You want to space out your crackers just because if they spread, cottage cheese usually spreads when it's baking. So you really want it to have space for it to spread. Okay, so I have laid out our crisp beautifully in nice flat circles. As you can see, they are flattened. And I've also kept distance because just in case it spreads, it's not overlapping with the crisp. And now I'm going to top this with our freshly grated Parmesan cheese. You see how finely I had grated my cheese? So I'm literally taking my time, topping it up. This is why I recommended having the freshly grated Parmesan cheese, because I want it to be beautifully sitting on our cottage cheese crisp dough. And I'm just going to put here and a little bit here. So yes, I finished up topping the Parmesan cheese and look at it, guys. It looks so amazing. Wow. I've already preheated the oven to 400 and I'm going to shove this in for about 14 minutes. So now that our crisps are baking in the oven, I was like, let's just make a nice dip. So for the dip, I'm going to be using the Fahe non-fat Greek yogurt. We are further upping the protein content. Some jalapeno peppers. I'm also going to be using the red hot buffalo sauce for that spicy factor, and then the smoked paprika. Alright, so I'm starting to make the dip. As simple as that. I'm going to take a teaspoon of Greek yogurt, and then I'm going to throw in smoked paprika in there, and then I'm also going to put a little bit of buffalo sauce. I like spicy, guys, so I'm putting a generous amount, and I want a little bit of crushed jalapeno. Let's give it a nice mix. Who knew making a dip is as easy as this? You know, a lot of times we think of recipes as very complicated or dips is very complicated. But trust me, that's what this channel is about. My goal is to make sure that everybody understands that recipes can be high protein, low carb, delicious, and also easy. Look at our dip. Looking so pretty. Oh my god, look at the color, guys. Love it. Look at that, isn't it? Alright, the moment has come to take out our cottage cheese crisp from the oven. I'm super excited. Oh my god! Look at these crisps! These are literally fresh from the oven, but they're going to crisp up even more in another 5 minutes. So we're going to give it 5 minutes. I love them. Look at it. And guess what? I've paired this with the spicy Greek yogurt dip to even up the protein content. So next time, whenever you're craving chips, you can snack on this guilt-free, and this is perfect for hosting friends too. Oh my god! So we have reached the most favorite part of my video, which is the tasting check. So first of all, let's look at the crunch factor of this chip. Oh my god, guys. Now I'm going to take this crispy chip and dip it with my spicy Greek yogurt. So crunchy, so delicious, and dipping it with this buffalo Greek yogurt dip is just enhancing its flavor to another level. And I can't even believe that these chips are high protein, low carb. Absolutely delicious. So everyone, this is it for today's recipe. I, for one, really enjoyed making these cottage cheese chips, but I enjoyed eating them more. I absolutely love pairing it up with spicy Greek yogurt dip. I love spicy, but again, this is just a sample dip that I made for you. You can use any dip of your preference. You can make tangy dips, you can make even sweet dip, whatever you feel like. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more healthy, delicious, high protein, low carb recipes. And I'll come back with another great recipe. Until then, stay healthy, stay happy everyone. and love you all. Bye.